What's good, everybody? It's Student of Science here, and welcome to another tier list video. Today I'm bringing you the most accurate grass type Pokemon tier list. If you guys don't know what's happening, a while back I made the most accurate typings tier list, and I decided to go through the tier list from my least favorite typing to my most favorite typing and rank all those Pokemon within those types. And today we have grass type. And if you're new to the tier list series in general, it goes as such. It goes goated, stupid good, okay, meh, trash. And we have this one, which is supposed to be called not grass. What the fuck? And that is because there are two Pokemon that don't get grass type naturally. They have to have a held item to do so. Those two Pokemon are, if I can find them, Arceus is the first one, and then the second one is, once again, if I can find him in this mess, Silvally. These Pokemon have to be given certain items to become grass type. If you want to see where I placed these guys, be sure to check out my normal type Pokemon tier list because they are naturally normal type. But without further ado, let's get into the tier list. Starting off with Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur is honestly stupid good. Bulbasaur is a stupid good Pokemon. Really bulky Pokemon as a starter. For the longest time, the only starter to have two typings, so you had the potential to get two stab moves. I don't think he gets any poison moves other than Poison Powder in the very beginning, which is unfortunate. But he gets access to Razor Leaf, he gets access to Vine Whip, he gets access to Petal Dance if you keep him long enough. But really bulky Pokemon overall, that's generally a theme with grass types. They're either fast and they hit hard, or they're naturally bulky. This Pokemon is naturally bulky, he is stupidly good. Ivysaur is also stupid good. Ivysaur is the Meta Evolution between Bulbasaur and Venusaur. I've always liked the designs of the Meta Evolutions, sometimes more than the regular Final Evolution art. Ivysaur, just a thicker Bulbasaur, essentially. Does everything Bulbasaur could do, but it's just a lot beefier, has a lot more health, has a lot better defense stats. And in these tier lists, I have found that there are certain Pokemon you don't get for their first stage, you get them for their final evolution. And I feel like with Bulbasaur, if you're going to rock with a Bulbasaur, you can. But if you evolved Bulbasaur into an Ivysaur, you're planning to get a Venusaur. Venusaur is goated. Hands down, Venusaur is goated. One of the best grass type starters to ever exist. Poison grass, super bulky, lots of HP, not the fastest, but doesn't need to be. Gets access to Solar Beam, gets access to does he get access to Hyper Beam? I don't think he does. But he gets Razor Leaf, he gets access to, I think he gets access to Sludge Wave, I think. If not, he gets access to Gunshot. Just a really, really good Pokemon overall. Mega Venusaur is that much better. Mega Venusaur looks amazing. He looks like Venusaur grew up in like an actual jungle. Like, it looks like he took a Venusaur and put a jungle in his bag. Really good design. A lot bulkier, a lot more HP, hits a lot harder. It's literally just a better Venusaur. What more do you want? G-Max Venusaur I also really like. I really like the fact that I've said this about G-Max Venusaur. He looks like he's got dreads. I don't know why I think that, but I really like it though. I don't know why you think he's got dreads. He obviously doesn't. That's just where his flower overgrew his whole body and he's pushing the leaves down. But he looks like he has a giant ass beanie and he's got dreads. I really like his design. I don't know why. Oddish is honestly kind of trash. Oddish, same attack stat as an Onix. Don't know why they decided to do that, but they did. Not bulky at all. Doesn't hit hard. Doesn't really set up very well. Oddish is one of those Pokemon you don't get for an Oddish. You get it for Vileplume or Breloom. Gloom, honestly, is okay. Gloom is bulky enough to hold its own. I think that's pretty much all Gloom has going for it. It doesn't really hit really hard. It's just really bulky. In my personal opinion, you don't really get a Gloom for a Gloom. You get Gloom for Vileplume. Vileplume is stupid good. Vileplume is a surprisingly good grass type. Bulky, hits hard, slow as shit, but doesn't need to be. Just a really good grass type overall. It's, if you didn't choose Venusaur as your starter, this is like the next step before Venusaur. It's honestly a really good typing. Paris. I keep forgetting this thing's bug grass. Paris is kind of meh. Paris, if you're just working with a Paris, you're basically rocking it for status ailments. Like you get a Sun Spore, Poison Spore, Sleep Spore. You get Spore in general if you keep it a Paris long enough. X Scissor. But with Paris, you don't really get Paris for Paris. You get Paris for Parasect. Parasect is also stupidly good low key. It's a decent Pokemon. You get access to X-Scissor, you get access to Spore. It's kind of bulky, but because of the bug type weakness and the grass type, flying types, fuck this thing over. But other than that, not a bad choice to get overall. Bellsprout, be real, it's kind of trash. Bellsprout doesn't have the stats to warrant getting one just for it itself. If you get a Bellsprout, you're not getting Bellsprout for Bellsprout, you're getting it for a Victory Bell. Weepinbell is kind of meh. Weepinbell is kind of meh. It's bulkier. It's a bulkier grass type. I'll give it that. But most people, if you're using Weepinbell, you're not wanting to use Weepinbell. You're keeping it for Victory Bell. Victory Bell is okay. Victory Bell's okay. Stats aren't nearly as good as Vileplume. Kind of sad, honestly. I really like Victory Bell. I like the design of Victory Bell more than I like Vileplume. But the stats, design can only carry you so far. The stats just aren't there. Now, don't get me wrong. It hits hard. It hits harder than Vileplume. But Vileplume has a balance where the bulk is, whereas Victory Bell is more fragile than Vileplume. So, for that reason, Victory Bell goes in okay. Execute. Execute is meh. Execute's meh. Kind of decently bulky for a stage 1 Pokemon. There's a bunch of eggs. In reality, they're seeds, I believe. I don't think they're literally eggs because they're grass, right? They're grass psychic. Their stats, it's not great. You don't really get an Execute for an Execute. You get Execute for Executor. Cantonian Executor? Low-key kind of fire. Low-key kind of fire. Grass Psychic. Very, very odd typing, to say the very least. Pretty bulky. Especially hits pretty hard. You get access to Psychic. You get access to Side Shock. You get access to Solar Beam. You get access to all these moves. Not a bad Pokemon to scoop up, honestly. Alolan Executor. Grass Dragon. This one is okay. This one's okay. Grass Dragon is arguably, if not the worst typing combination in all of Pokemon. Quad weak to ice. I think you're still weak to flying. You're neutral to fire, but you quad resist water. I'll give it that. But you're also weak to dragon. You're also weak to fairy. It's just, there's a lot of weaknesses that go into it. Hits like a goddamn truck, I will say. Hits so fucking hard. But I just think that the bulk that Cantonian Executor gives, it makes it better than Alolan Executor. I really like Alolan Executor. I think it's great. But I think Cantonian Executor, because of that bulk and that psychic typing, really drive it home. Tangela is meh. Tangela's meh. Tangela, pure grass. I don't think this thing was really like everyone's go-to grass type to begin with, even before Tangrowth came out. And especially with Tangrowth being out right now, Tangela is not... You don't get a Tangela for Tangela, you get it for its evolution. Moving on to Gen 2, Chikorita. Chikorita, I honestly kind of like, but it's just okay. Chikorita, just pure grass type. That's the theme with the Johto starters. I think they have the same not typings, but same stats as the Kanto starters. I'm getting all my regions mixed up. But they just don't have the dual typings. None of them do. So, Chikorita is, it's kind of bulky, but its moves just aren't there. You don't get a Chikorita for Chikorita. You get Chikorita for Meganium. Bayleaf. Bayleaf is also okay. Bayleaf, a lot bulkier, hits a lot harder, much, much better than Chikorita. But because Meganium is a thing, I can't justify putting it higher than okay, because it does get insanely better. So with that, you could theoretically slap like an Eviolite on this thing and make it bulkier, but it's not worth, I'm gonna be honest with the Chief. Meganium is stupid good. I really like Meganium. Meganium is a really good grass type, pure grass, hits like a truck. It's so funny to put a Focus Sash on this thing, knowing you're going into a physical fire type mon, and then using counter on it. It's so fucking funny to see that happen, especially if like you're going second. I really like Meganium. Meganium, stupid good. Bellossom. Bellossom, surprisingly stupidly good. I would think this thing is fragile as shit, but surprisingly not. Grass poison, just like Vileplume. More so for setup than it is attack. So they put a lot of its stats in its bulk, I believe. But I mean, it's not as good as Vileplume. Vileplume is just an all-around heavy hitter and bulky mon. Bellossom can hold its own. surprisingly enough. I really like Blossom. Blossom's a cool Pokemon. Hoppip. Hoppip. All the J-Woods fans are gonna hate me. Hoppip is trash. Hoppip is not a good Pokemon. Hoppip is grass flying, if I'm not mistaken, if not pure grass. Its stats suck, man. It gets splashed and that's it. It's just a bad Pokemon overall. Skiploom, not much better, I'm be honest with you, Chief. Still trash. Doesn't get a whole lot of moves. It's a little bulkier, I'll give it that. But no, you're not getting Skiploom for Skiploom. You're getting it for Jumpluff. Jumpluff is an okay mon. Jumpluff is okay. Especially in how Jumpluff is now. Grass flying, gets access to Fairy Wind, gets access to Solar Beam, gets access to Hurricane. I'm pretty sure it gets Tailwind. It's a decent mon. It's a pretty decent mon overall. Sunkern is also trash. Sunkern is also trash. Its stats just don't hold any water. If you're getting a Sunkern, you're not getting it for Sunkern, you're getting it for Sunflora. And Sunflora is just a meh Pokemon as well. I wish Sunflora was better than what it is, but it's not. I feel like Sunflora should have been Grass Fire, and then it would have made it a little bit better, but it is what it is. It's just a meh Pokemon overall. Celebi's stupidly good. Grass Psychic, mystical Pokemon, so it's base 100 across the board. The Pokemon of time, like it time travels, like that's all it does. And the moves aren't great until you get higher levels. So raising this thing is like a kind of a pain, because the best stab move you get is Confusion for the longest time. But once you get into higher levels, it's a really good Pokemon. I really like it. Moving into 3rd gen, Trico. Trico is to be good. I really like the Trico line. Trico is a really interesting grass type starter. I really liked it, especially Ash's Trico from the anime. But if you get a Trico, you're not getting Trico for Trico. You're getting it to eventually get Sceptile. Grovyle is also stupidly good. Grovyle is such a cool Pokemon. Your main antagonist and Explorers of Time, and it's Explorers of Time and Explorers of Darkness, I believe. It's your main antagonist until you find out the big twist at the end. It's such a cool Pokemon, such a fast Pokemon, but Grovyle gets so much better. Sceptile, dog, you want to talk about Sceptile? Hang on, let me break it down for you. Sceptile, pure grass, right? Hits like a goddamn truck, fast as shit. Doesn't have the best defenses, I'll give you that. But fast as shit, hits hard as a fucking truck. Gets access to X Scissor, gets access to Leaf Blade, gets access to Quick Attack, gets access to all these fucking moves, gets access to Leaf Storm. It's a powerhouse. It's so cool looking. Gen 3 Dex does not miss. He's such a cool Pokemon. I love it. Mega Sceptile. I'm unfortunately going to put Mega Sceptile back here. And here's why. Still good Pokemon. Love Mega Sceptile. Design, insanely cool. Love it. Much better design than Sceptile. Love it. The problem is, Grass Dragon. Not the best typing combination for it. It, again, looks like a dragon, right? I could totally see this thing being a dragon. But Grass Dragon, again, is one of the worst typing combinations. You are so weak to fire, or yeah, so weak to ice, it's insane. It's criminal how weak this thing is to ice. It's so sad. So, for that reason, it's in Goated. I want to put it higher, because I love Mega Sceptile. But unfortunately, because of the typing, it just hangs back here. Lotad is okay. Lotad's okay, kind of bulky. Grass Water, one of the better typing combinations, surprisingly. But it doesn't really amount to much with its attacks. With Lotad, you don't really get a Lotad for Lotad. You're getting it for a Ludicolo. Lombre, I really like Lombre. Lombre is pretty good. Lombre, again, still Grass Water. It gets better moves, it gets better stats. Not really worth putting an Eviolite on this thing or any sort of item to try to get it like on par. Basically, you're really gunning for that Ludicolo with Lombre. Ludicolo is also okay. The whole line is just an okay line. Grass Water still, real bulky, hits pretty hard, but nobody really uses this thing. It's a unique mon. If you wanted a unique grass type or a unique water type, you have it right here. It's really fun to use, but that's pretty much all it is. It's a fun Pokemon to just kind of like use to have something different. Seedot, Seedot is meh. Seedot's meh. A little acorn Pokemon, pure grass. The best move it gets is Bide, and that's if it lives. But Bide does a lot of damage, I'll give it that if it lives. Early on, that Bide does the work, but Bide and Harden, man, this thing's a pain to train. But you're not getting a Seedot for Seedot, you're getting Seedot for Shiftry. Nuzleaf is also meh, and I have to put it in meh because it's better than Seedot statistic-wise. But, like, the shape is weird. It's weird that they gave a Pokemon nipples. It's a weird Pokemon overall, but you're not getting a Nuzleaf for Nuzleaf, you're getting it for Shiftry. Shiftry is also meh, and here's why. Shiftry is a Grass Stone evolution. Because of that, he doesn't learn shit. If you have a Shiftry, he doesn't learn anything. You have to get all of his moves while he's a Nuzleaf. And his best moves, he gets like at level 50 or 60. So you are struggling with a Nuzleaf for a majority, if not the entirety of the game. So for that reason, once you get the moves, you know, it's Grass Dark. Once you get the moves, he's okay to use. But you have to use Nuzleaf for such a long time. He's just meh. Shroomish. Little Shroomish. Shroomish is also meh. Poison, or Grass Poison. Pretty decently bulky. Gets access to Bullet Seed. Gets access to all the spores. Little grumpy dude. But you don't really get Shroomish for Shroomish. You're getting Shroomish for Breloom. Breloom, low-key, stupid good. Grass fighting. Hits like a truck. Fast as shit. Like, I'm surprised. I'm genuinely surprised how good Breloom is. Breloom is honestly a pretty decent Pokemon to scoop up. I'm genuinely surprised by how much this thing is good. Roselia is okay. Roselia is okay. Grass Poison. Good setup. Poison Point. That's about all it's good for. It really needed that evolution in 4th gen to make it relevant, but that's all it's got going for it, honestly. It's just okay. Cacnea is also okay. Cacnea is okay. Gets access to Grass Hammer. I think it gets Spike as an ability. It would make perfect sense. Grass Dark, but with Cacnea, you're still not getting Cacnea for Cacnea. You're getting a Cacnea for a Cacturn. Cacturn is okay, but in the lead, Cacturn is so cool. Cacturn is such a cool Pokemon. They just kind of hang out in the desert, pretend to be normal cactuses like scarecrows, and then they jump you. Grass Dark, like, this is the superior Grass Dark. Between it and Shiftry, it's superior. It learns actually good moves. It gets, like, its stats are decent. It's not the best grass type, but it's still a good one. It's an okay Pokemon overall because there are a lot better grass types than Cacturn. But it's still such a cool Pokemon. It's so cool. I like this thing a lot. Lileep, the fossil Pokemon, Grass Rock, is okay. Just okay. Grass Rock, like I said before, neutral to water. It doesn't really get a whole lot of good moves. Doesn't really get a whole lot of good stats either. If you get a Lileep, you're not getting Lileep for Lileep. You're getting it for Cradily. Cradily is also okay. I really like this fossil, but its move pool is shit. It's got a very shitty move pool. If you're using this thing, you're using it because you actually really like Cradily or you want something different. I'm just gonna be real. Like, Energy Ball is the best grass type move this thing gets, and that's not good. It gets Ingrain, it gets Ancient Power. It's a special attacker, so I guess that's fine. It's meant to be more bulky than offensive, but its move pool is shit. But because it's like, you know, it's a decent Pokemon stat-wise, just moves pool is shit, so that's why it's an okay. Tropius, low-key kind of good. Low-key, nobody really ever used Tropius, but I mean, it's grass flying. So, electric is neutral to a flying type, or electric is neutral, is insane. Also, rock types, rock type's still super effective against it, but it's also super effective against rock types. So there's that. A flying type that can also take on rock types. So it's 2 for 2. It's bulky, it's fast, it hits pretty decently hard. It's a good Pokemon, I like it. Moving on into Gen 4, Turtwig. Turtwig is okay. She really should have been dual typing. This should have been the first dual type starter since Bulbasaur, but whatever. Pure grass type. Hits okay for, you know, being a starter, but it's more bulky than anything. But you're not really getting a Turtwig for Turtwig. You're getting Turtwig for Torterra. Grotle is okay. I like Grottle. Grottle's a cool Pokemon. Super bulky, insanely bulky. But you know, its move pool is cool. Its attack stats decent, but you're not really stopping at Grottle. You're getting a Torterra. That's what you're using a Grottle for. Torterra is stupidly good. Torterra is such a good Pokemon. Grass ground, hits like a truck. You put Curse, you put Crunch, Earthquake, insert grass move here. And this thing will not go anywhere. It is a menace to society. It is wanted for war crimes. It's insane. Badoo's trash. Badoo's trash. They gave Roselia a pre-evolution. Don't really think Roselia needed a pre-evolution, but it's here. It's kind of bulky, but not really. Compared to what's down here, it is. But you don't really get a Badoo for Badoo. You're getting a Badoo for Roserade. Roserade is also a stupidly good Pokemon. Poison or Grass Poison hits hard, much better improvement than Roselia. Roselia really needed this evolution. Such a good Pokemon. I really like it. Cherubi. Cherubi is honestly, it's also trash. Cherubi is just like a little cherry Pokemon that you're not meant to really use competitively or any serious notion. If you get Cherubi, you're wanting to get Cherum. Cherum, normally when they have two forms, I put them both side by side because I think that, you know, it doesn't really matter. But these ones do. So Cherubi, this one's more defensive and this one's more offensive. So I'm going to put the offensive one higher up in OK and the defensive one lower in OK. You need the sun up for them to change their forms, which is very unfortunate. So that means if you're using this thing, you need something with sunny day. You need something with drought. You need something that's going to set up the sun and you're committing to it. So if you're facing a Pokemon with drizzle, you're fucked. That's essentially what's happening here. So, well, if you can build a team around this thing, you're set. You're good to go. But it's because you need that stipulation, it just goes in okay. Carnivine! Carnivine is also okay. Hits pretty decently for what it is. It's pure grass, but its stats just aren't there. So for that reason, it's an okay. Snover is... I'll put it in the lead of okay. Snover is a pretty good Pokemon, even for being a stage 1 Mon. Ice, Grass, not the best typing, especially if you fighting a fire type. Fire types walk all over the fuck of this thing. But you know, Snover, you don't really stop with Snover. You're getting a Snover for Abomasnow. Abomasnow, stupidly good Pokemon. Goated even, I should say. It's so good. Grass and Ice, again, not the best typing combination, but this thing hits so fucking hard. Unless you're fighting something that is super effective against this thing, everything is dying. Gets Curse, gets Avalanche, gets Wood Hammer, all these offensive moves, and it hits so fucking hard. It's such a good Pokemon. Tangrowth is stupid good. I really like Tangrowth. Much better improvement from Tangela. I feel like Tangela really needed this Pokemon to keep it relevant. Otherwise, Tangela would fade to obscurity. Leafeon, goated Pokemon. Leafeon is the grass type evolution that we finally got. Hits super hard. It gets access to Leaf Blade. Gets access to Curse, Wish, all these other things that most evolutions get access to. Also kind of bulky. For some reason, it hits super hard and it's kind of bulky. Really good grass type to scoop up. Shaman. This is another instance where we have two forms. Shaman itself, I feel like I have to put in super good because it's a mythical and it's base 100 across the board. Pure grass type. It's a really good Pokemon to scoop up. Skyform, I'm pretty sure is grass flying. I don't think it's base 100 across the board anymore. I think it's more physical than anything. But again, I've never really used a Skyform. I've never had the opportunity to use it. So I'm gonna put it in stupid good with Shaman. I believe this thing is used more than regular Shaman, but we'll just put it one above regular Shaman. Entering 5th gen, Snivy. Snivy as a Pokemon is kind of meh. It's pure grass. Typing, you know, it's pure grass. What more can I say? Stat-wise, not really there. Its move pool is decent. I'll give it that, but its stats just aren't there. So if you're not really getting Snivy for Snivy. You're getting Snivy for Superior. Servine is kind of better. It's like the weird in-between child for for Snivy and Superior, obviously. Not the best to get. Its stats are IB better than Snivy. Still aren't quite up to snuff to really like put it anywhere on the map. But again, you're not getting a Servine for Servine. You're getting Servine for Superior. Superior is goated. Hands down, Superior is goated. Superior is such a good Pokemon. It's an OU for a reason. Okay? Its fucking ability where stats increase and decrease are swapped. So you use Leaf Storm, which is supposed to lower your special attack, but now raises it every time. It's insanely busted. It's so good. I love it. Pansage is kind of trash. Pansage is kind of trash. Again, Grass Monkey evolves with Leaf Stone. Unfortunately, its final evolution does not learn shit because it's a stone evolution. So everything that you wanted to learn, you have to keep it as a Semi-Sage, or I'm sorry, a Pansage until it learns its final move, and then you can evolve it. So, and its stats are just dog shit. So for that reason, it's in trash. Semi-Sage, I'm be real, is kind of meh. I really like Semi-Sage as a design. The design is really cool. I really like it. But the fact of the matter that I have to keep it a Pansage for such a long time, and even then, its best moves aren't even that great. So it's just kind of meh, honestly. Sewaddle is okay. I like Sewaddle. Sewaddle's okay. Grass Bug, not the best topic combination, especially for fire, but it's a cool Pokemon. You don't really get Sewaddle for Sewaddle, you get Sewaddle for Levani. Swaddloon is also okay. Swaddloon's also okay. Meta evolution between Sewaddle and Levani. Bulkier, still bug, grass. It's basically just bulkier Sewaddle, essentially. You still don't get Swaddloon for Swaddloon. You get Swaddloon for Levani. Levani is low-key stupid good. Levani is low-key stupid good. Grass Bug, a lot of weaknesses. Hits pretty hard. Not the best stat-wise, but it is different, and I really like it. I really like Levani. It's low-key stupid good. Cottony is okay. Cottony's okay. Grass Fairy, pretty bulky typing combination as well. Its moves aren't quite there. If you're getting a Cottony, you're not getting Cottony for Cottony, you're getting Cottony for Whimsicott. Whimsicott is goated. There's no reason for them to make this Pokemon as good as it is. Grass Fairy, insanely bulky, doesn't fucking die, gets Fairy Wind, gets access to Leaf Storm, gets access to Cotton Spore, all this other shit. It's insane how good this Pokemon is. It's such a good Pokemon. Petalil is also okay. Not nearly as good as Whimsicott. Not Whimsicott, but Cottony. Its stats aren't quite there. I believe this thing is also Grass Fairy, if not pure grass. With Petalil, it's very evident that you're not getting a Petalil for Petalil, you're getting it for Lilligant. Then you have Lilligant. Lilligant is also stupid good. Lilligant, pure grass, pretty bulky, hits pretty hard. Not nearly as good as Whimsicott, but you know it's a different option. I like Lilligant. Lilligant is a pretty good choice. Low key, stupid good. Maractus is also okay. Not nearly as good as Cacturn, pure grass, but you know it's again it's a different grass type to use. Not the best, but not the worst either. There are definitely better grass types to choose, but there are a lot of worse grass types you could go with. So it's okay to use. I think it's okay. Deerling, we've come across this thing again. Grass, normal. I don't believe the seasons have anything to do other than aesthetics. So all the Deerlings are gonna go in the same one, which is trash. The Deerlings are trash. I'm gonna sort them by like the design I like the best, but they're all kind of trash. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. The stats aren't up to snuff. That's pretty much what it boils down to. The stats aren't up to snuff. So if you get a Deerling, you're not really getting Deerling for Deerling. You're getting it for a Swasbuck. Swasbuck is in the low end of okay. Swasbuck's the low end of okay. I like Swasbuck, I really do, but I just don't feel like they bring much to the table. Grass normal still. They hit okay, but I mean nobody's using a Swasbuck. Let's just get that out of the way right now. Nobody's using this thing. There's so many better grass types out there. Nobody's using it. There's worse out there, but there's a lot more better out there. Let's just put that to bed right now. Fungus is meh. Fungus is meh. Grass poison. Kind of bulky, but not really. You don't really get a Fungus for Fungus. You get Fungus for a Mungus. Amoonguss, he's being sus. It's Amoonguss. Amoonguss is okay. Bulky, grass poison. It's a good Pokemon to get. I don't think it's quite there to be put in stupid good considering what's in there right now. But it's a good Pokemon to get. It's different. It's kind of bulky. Hits pretty hard. But there's just so. It's just not quite there to be put in stupid good. Ferroseed is also meh. Ferroseed is also meh. Grass Steel, really weak to fire. Gets access to thorns. Its defenses aren't really there. The whole point behind this thing is that it's super defensive, but it's not quite there. But you don't get a Ferroseed for Ferroseed. You get Ferroseed for Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is surprisingly good for what it is. Like, it's insane how good this thing is. Grass Steel gets access to Thorns, I believe its ability is called, where you hit it and you take damage. You put Rocky Helmet on this thing, your opponent's taking a shit ton of damage. If it touches it, it gets access to Spikes, Toxic Spikes. Stealth Rock is one of the best setup mons to ever exist, and I love it. Virizion, is also stupid good. It is also stupid good. I like this thing. Grass Fighting, hits super hard. That's pretty much all there is to say. It's a very hard-hitting offensive grass type. That's pretty much what it boils down to. We're at 6th gen now. We have Chespin. Chespin is kind of meh. Chespin's meh. Pure grass. Doesn't really hold up to nothing until it evolves. So you don't really get a Chespin for Chespin. You're getting a Chespin for a Chestnut. Quality. Who said this is okay? Who looked at the design and said, yep, that's a Pokemon? Who decided this? I want to know. Qualitum, though not the worst grass type, is probably the worst designed grass types out there. It is insane how you can take Chespin and Chestnut and say that's the Metal Evolution. I just want to talk. I just want to talk to the guy who made it. I just want to talk. Chestnut is okay. Chestnut's okay. Grass Fighting. Not much I can say about this thing. It gets access to the Spike Shield, which is basically protect, but your opponent takes damage. It's defensive, but it's not quite there. You know what I mean? Like, Greninja has an insane amount of stat boost compared to this thing. And there's Pokemon that are way better defensive out there than this thing on this list. So I can't really justify putting it in super good because of that. Skidoo is also meh. Skidoo's meh. Its stats are okay, pure grass, but you're really getting a Skidoo for a Go-Goat, not a Skidoo. Go-Goat is also okay. Not a bad grass type to scoop up, but there are definitely a lot better grass types that you can scoop up. So for that reason, he is an okay. Phantump, Ghost Grass, or Grass Ghost rather, is meh. It's kind of meh. Stats aren't quite there yet. Evolves via trade, I believe. But you don't really get a Phantump for Phantump. You get a Phantump for Trevenant. Trevenant's cool as fuck. I love Trevenant. Trevenant is such a cool Pokemon. Grass Ghost. It gets access to Shadow Claw, gets access to Leaf Blade, gets access to Ingrain. I love the lore behind Trevenant because it starts with Phantump, and then Phantump just becomes a creepy ass tree. I love it so much. But its stats just aren't there for it. I wish its stats were better than what they are. They're just not. So for that reason, he's an okay. Pumpkaboo, I'm putting okay. Pumpkaboo is an okay mon. They come in different sizes, and the sizes depict their stats. Mostly a defensive Pokemon. I really like Pumpkaboo. You can just run Pumpkaboo if you really wanted to, but there's no reason to because Gourgeist exists. Gourgeist is surprisingly good. It's Grass Ghost as well, but like they made this one better. It's bulkier. It gets access to what's that move called? It's Ghost Quick Attack. Can't remember what the move's called. It's access to that. Gets access to Grass Whistle. Gets access to Grass Knot. It's just a really good grass type to scoop up. I really like it. Moving on to 7th gen. 7th gen has a pretty decent amount of grass types. Rowlet, the first Pokemon starter to start with dual typing since Bulbasaur. People lost their mind over this thing. I think Rowlet is just okay. I think Rowlet's okay. Grass Flying, you know, again, early game, great. But I don't think this thing really shines until it becomes a Decidueye. Dartrix, still Grass Flying. I'm gonna put it in okay still, ahead of Rowlet, because it is, you know, better than Rowlet statistically. But I don't really care for this thing's design. I'm gonna be real with you guys. It's just a little punk boy. And I don't know why I don't like it. I just don't like its design. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Decidueye, goated. Decidueye is hands down goated. Decidueye, such a cool Pokemon. Grass Ghost, based off the Piper. He's got the hood. He launches bows and arrows. He's such a cool Pokemon. I love this thing. Absolutely love it. Fomantis is... it's kind of meh. I'm gonna have to put it ahead of C-Dot. Fomantis, meh. Grass Bug, stats aren't really there. You're not really getting Fomantis for Fomantis. You're getting that for Lurantis. Lurantis is okay. It goes here. A physical attack is alright. Gets access to, I forget what the move is called. I think it's like Solar Blade. Basically Solar Beam, but physical instead of special. So again, it follows in the same principle as Cherubi, where you have to have a Pokemon with Sunny Day or Drought or something like that on your team to really set up for it. But once you set up for it, it hits like a fucking truck. So it's in okay for that reason, but it's in that lead of okay, because at least it has like the bug type moves to kind of like balance it out, where if the sun isn't up and you have something that's weak to bug, you can send this thing out. Morlul is trash, but ahead of trash. Grass Psychic, or not Grass Psychic, Grass Fairy, sorry. You'd think that would, you know, make it bulkier, but it's not. This thing is frail as shit. So that reason it's in trash, but you don't get Morlul from Morlul, you get Morlul for Shiinotic. Shiinotic, kinda nutty, not gonna lie. Kinda nutty. Grass Fairy, pretty bulky, looks dead inside, creepy as shit. From the front, you would think Pokemon's getting a blowy from a Jigglypuff, but here we are. It's really creepy looking, dude. Like, insanely creepy looking. But it's honestly a pretty decent Pokemon to get, pretty decently bulky as well. So it's it's on the low end of stupid good. Bounce Sweet. Bounce Sweet is meh. Bounce Sweet's meh. Pure grass. Just kinda exists. I'm gonna be real with you. You don't really get a Bounce Sweet for Bounce Sweet. You get a Bounce Sweet for Serena. Steenie, also kinda meh. Better Bounce Sweet, hits harder, not that good defensively, but again, with Steenie, you don't really get Steenie for Steenie, you're getting Steenie for Serena. God damn. God, but you can't tell me Pokemon doesn't know what they're doing. You can't tell me that when Steenie exists. You can't tell me that when Mega Lopunny exists. I literally had this argument, it's like, oh no, they never want to make Pokemon that look, you know, sexualized, because, you know, they're geared for kids. Look at Serena, dog. This Pokemon is uber caked up wearing go-go boots. You can't fucking tell me that. It hits hard as shit, dude. This whole thing is it kicks super hard. That's why it doesn't skip leg day. Like, looks aside, this Pokemon like hits hard as shit. It gets access to Tropical Kick, which is basically like high jump kick, but grass type. It's a really good Pokemon, but you can't make the argument that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Delmise is, we'll say he's okay. I haven't really used Delmise. Ghost Grass. I think technically this thing has 3 typings, if I'm not mistaken. There's something weird about this Pokemon that give it to where it's like technically it's got 3 typings. It's a very weird Pokemon, very cool looking, based off shipwrecks, which, you know, in Hawaii there's a bunch of wrecked ships just from where people have tried to go from island to island back in like before modern times. But it's a cool Pokemon, don't get me wrong, it's just very, very weird. Tapu Bulu, stupidly good. Like, you can't argue this thing isn't stupid good. Grass Fairy, bulky, hits like a goddamn bull, pun entirely intended. One of the Tapus. It's insane. It's a super cool Pokemon. You can't argue that it's bad. You just can't. Kartana, Grass Steel, super fast, hits super hard, very low defenses, but it's also stupid good. Hits way too hard, and it's way too fast. to put it anywhere below stupid good. You can argue that, you know, it could be in goated, but you can't argue that it's only okay. It's way too hard for it to be anywhere lower than stupid good. Grookey, little Grookey, Gen 8. Grookey is okay. Grookey's okay. He's just a little monkey with a little stick. Kind of wish I used him as my starter, to be honest with you. I don't regret picking Sobble, but kind of wish I chose Grookey. I feel like I would have had more fun with Grookey, but its stats are decent, but you don't really get Grookey for Grookey. You get Grookey for Rillaboom. Thwackey is also okay. I have to put him one above Grookey just because statistically he is better, but I don't like him better than Grookey design-wise. I just don't. Like, he's this weird middle cross between Grookey and Rillaboom. But still, you don't get Thwackey for Thwackey. You get Thwackey for Rillaboom. Rillaboom is fucking stupid good. Rillaboom is a stupid good Pokemon. Pure grass. Hits like a goddamn truck. Looks cool as shit. He's such a cool looking Pokemon. His stats aren't as good as other grass types. Him being pure grass kind of hinders him a little bit. I think he should have been grass fighting, but still a good Pokemon nonetheless. G-Max Rillaboom is goated. I really like the way this thing looks. I really like how his branches from his hair are kind of holding multiple drumsticks. I like how the drum he carries around is not like just massive trees and forests. It's so cool looking. Its stats are sky fucking high. I love it. Gossifleur is meh. As someone who used Gossifleur is meh. Pure grass. Doesn't really hit hard. Not the best in terms of bulk. It's kind of hairy. You don't really use it for this thing. You use it for Gossifleur. Then Eldegoss, Evolution. Eldegoss also is kind of okay. Its bulk is better. Its speed is slow as shit. It doesn't hit hard. It's as someone who used this in their first playthrough of Sword and Shield, it's just okay. There's a lot better grass types to use out there. Even in Gen 8, it's just okay. Applin, Grass Dragon, is meh. Applin itself is meh. Its evolutions are actually pretty goated. But Applin itself, its stats just aren't there. It's a little bulky, but that's about it. Grass Dragon, not a great typing combination. But Applin itself is just kind of meh. You don't really get Applin for Applin. You get it for one of its two evolutions. First one, we'll go with Flapple. Flapple is... Flapple's okay. Flapple is more offensive. This is as if the worm inside of Applin consumed the apple entirely and now uses the apple as its shell. And it flies around, flaps around, hence, you know, the name Flapple. I'm not going to say I dislike this Pokemon, but, you know, there are definitely better grass types and grass dragons out there. Appleton, the better of the two, is stupid good. I really like Appleton. Grass dragon still, bulky as shit. Looks scrumdiddly fucking umptious. This looks like just like the worm and the apple became intertwined and made like a little dog dragon. Looks like what's his name from Pete and the Dragon from that old Disney movie, if that's even what it's called. But it looks like it's a really good Pokemon. I really like it. Now the G-Max Flapple / G-Max Appleton. It's the same design for both. I'm not gonna say I don't get the design because it's supposed to be like, oh, it's a baked good plus the worm. But I believe that depending on which one you get depends on which stats this particular G-Max leans towards. I believe if you use G-Max Flapple, it's more offensive. If you use G-Max Appleton, it's more defensive, but it still hits like a fucking truck because it's a G-Max. I really like its design. It goes in goated. Zarude, Grass Dark. I'm going to put this thing in stupid good just because it's a mythical. I think it's one of the mythicals that like, it's kind of like Zorora, where I don't think, did Zorora's stats go 100 across the board? I'm not entirely sure. I don't entirely remember. But Zarude, I know, is a pretty good Pokemon. We don't know much about this thing, but I know it's a mythical, so for that reason, it's going to go in stupid good. And then finally, Calyrex. Calyrex? I don't remember this thing's name, but it is Psychic Grass, especially offensive. It's a very weird looking Pokemon. I don't like the big growth on its head, but I am going to put it in stupid good because its stats are insane. And yeah, I haven't really used this thing all that much. I played the Crown Tundra story mode, and that's about it. And that is going to be my tier list. This is my grass type tier list. Just remember, this is the most accurate grass type Pokemon tier list. All other tier lists are in fact wrong. But if you think I missed something, or you think that something should be somewhere else, please let me know in the comments down below. If you want to check out any of my non-Pokemon related content, be sure to check out my second channel, Notification. All my non-Pokemon related content goes over there. If you want to see me stream both Pokemon and non-Pokemon related content, be sure to check out my Twitch, Super796 over on Twitch. I stream every Monday and Wednesday for sure at 8 p.m. EST. If you want to see any of the live streams you may have missed, be sure to check out my VOD channel, Super7VODs. Basically, unless your partner, Twitch is not sending your VODs, so whenever I stream, I pick my stream from over there, and I put it onto the VOD channel. If you want to see my garbage opinions, be sure to check out my Twitter, Super796 over on Twitter. If you want me to see me post anything and everything that goes on in my daily life, or little skits or whatever, be sure to check out my TikTok, Super796 over on TikTok. And finally, I have a Discord. We post memes, we have direct discussions and predictions. It's a good time. Everything I just mentioned will be linked in the description down below. So that being said, I'm gonna get up here. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, comment on the video, if you think the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Helps me as a whole. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.
Take bars, little man.